Hello and welcome to Derp and Friends Reviews. I'm Derp,
I am Skeeter. What's up?
and today we're gonna review do part 7 of our One Piece review.
Episodes 31 to 35. Wow.
First of all, hit that like, subscribe, comment.
Why not?
We are currently at, I'm about to pull it up, 19,449 subscribers.
Wow.
No idea what we'll do differently once we hit 20, because we're clearly nowhere near done with One Piece.
Nope. Fuck my life.
Maybe we'll throw in an extra One Piece episode or review one of the movies or something like that. Just idea.
Or not. How about that idea?
Let's just get right into the review.
Alright, cool. Episode 31
Oops.
is called, I can't remember.
I have it. The worst man in the Eastern Seas, Fisherman Pirate Arlong.
Cool. So in this one, basically everyone's going towards Arlong's place. We know Nami's there already, and immediately we see Zoro, Johnny, and Usopp, and they're all they're still in the, and Johnny's kind of giving him the 411 on who Arlong is and why they're so feared, and we get a little more mystery revealed of what the Grand Line is.
And a lot of foreshadowing, because it also mentions like Jinbei and who will show up eventually. Or just a lot of foreshadowing.
Okay. And he mentions the 3 powers of the sea, but that's all he doesn't say what the other 2 were. But I haven't read or seen this before, so it's all new to me. So he mentions the 3 powers of the sea, and that there are 7 warlords that are paid by the Navy to exist. They take down other pirates, and the Navy gets paid a portion of what they make from taking down other pirates. And we also learned that Mihawk was one of the warlords.
The 3 great powers are the Marines, the 4 emperors, and the 7 warlords.
Okay. But all he mentions is the 7 warlords. I figured the Marines were one of them. But anyways, then it cuts to Arlong, and he's talking. For those of you that don't know, in the Navy they don't have the rank of colonel. That's only in the Army and Air Force, and the Marines. Oh wait, they're Marines. it's a naval vessel. That's just confusing. You know some of the junk confused. That's right, since the Marines came from the Navy. Never mind, I'm just getting into other things. Anyways, on ships, in the Navy they don't have colonels, but you must be a land person. Okay, so that would make sense. Alright, I just answered my own question. Haha! Anyways, he pays this colonel guy, like X amount of money, so he doesn't, get arrested. I was like, oh, you're a great person. Why don't you stay for some drinks or whatever? We can celebrate. He's like, no, I gotta get back home and see. I can't be hanging around at Pirate Island. And so he leaves, and as he's leaving, he mentions that, oh man, I can't stand those fish people. They're so weird and stuff. And then Arlong's like, oh man, I can't. And we learn pretty rapidly that Arlong's a giant racist towards non-fishermen people.
And there's Arlong.
And when Johnny was talking about like 3 powers of the sea, he mentions another warlord who worked with Arlong.
Jinbei.
Yeah, and he's a fisherman, and then Luffy didn't know what a fisherman was, so he kept drawing pictures of it, and he kept getting it completely wrong. He's like, is this it? No. Is this it? No. Is this it? He does pretty great.
Went from quadrupedal to bipedal to just, all just pure fish head.
Yep. And outside of the gate, we see Nami walking into Arlong's, not playground, but park.
Arlong
Fun
Park.
zone?
It's called Park.
Park?
Yep.
Oh, Arlong Park. There's this kid who's running up towards the gate. He's like, oh, I'm gonna kill Arlong, he killed my dad. And she breaks out her 3-pronged stick and slaps him down, saying, yeah, he has no time for small fry like you. You need to run away here. And she gives him some money, like, here, just run along there, I saved your life, blah, blah, blah. And this is where we learn that Nami is friends with Arlong, and that she's like a pirate and shit. And we're like, oh my god, no way. Let's see. And then, that's when Zoro and, or maybe it was, I think I was wrong before. It wasn't Johnny that was telling the 3 powers. I think it was the other person. Yeah, Yaokoi? Yosaku. Yeah, that's what it was. It's confusing because we're on 2 different boats traveling in the same place. So, anyways, Usopp, Zoro, and Johnny are about to land on Arlong's place, and they're like, oh crap, Arlong's there, we can't go there. And Zoro's like, no, we're gonna land there. That's where the bad guys are. That's where Nami's gonna be. And then at that time, Usopp and Johnny take hammers and knock Zoro out, and then they tie him to the boat. And then immediately, they turn the ship to go along the shore to find a safer place to land. And then they pass by this place where there's some fishermen. And then they see the boat, and these 2 fishermen dive into the water to chase the boat, and they're like, oh crap, they're coming. And they cower out and ditch the boat, and Zoro's like, what the hell are you doing? Get back here, what are you doing? And so they run away, bravely, and then Zoro gets captured immediately. That was pretty fun. He gets taken to Arlong's place, and then it cuts to Usopp and Johnny. They swim to shore near the town, and they notice that all the buildings are flipped over, and they don't know why. And Johnny senses somebody coming. Usopp doesn't, and it's one of the fishermen. And he's talking to him he's like, "Hey, what happened here?" And the guy's like, "Oh yeah, we're in this monster we took from the Grand Line. We flipped them all." And he's like, "Wait a minute, we?" So he turns around and he sees this fisherman and not Johnny, and he starts running away, of course. And so we learned that this monster called Momu was the one that did it. And let's see, the town. And when as Usopp is running away from this fishman, he runs into this chick, blue-haired chick, and the boy from earlier that we saw. And they're in this town, and he's like, "Oh my God, there's a monster coming!" He turns around, he's like, "Oh, don't worry, girl, I'll save you." And she knocks him out, and she has a fishman run into another direction away from them. And then we see Momu, because Momu smells the dinner that Sanji has cooked for Yosaku and Luffy. And he comes out of nowhere and he's like, "Rah, I'm a monster." So that was the end of episode 31. Episode 32.
Which at Kokoyashi Village, Arlong's female leader.
Right. Arlong is a female leader. And it's Nami. So Momu is hungry. We get a whole montage of Momu coming out of the water and them having a discussion. And immediately when it's mentioned that, oh, maybe Momu wants the food, Luffy goes from passive to, "You can't take my food." So he punches the monster. And then Sanji's like, wait, hold on. This creature might be hungry. He holds up the food, and the creature is he opens its mouth, and he kicks the creature. They're like, "Hey, what happened to your kindness? This monster was going to eat me too." So they had to do it. And so they were able to ward off the monster from eating them and their food. So, haha. Alright. So then, cuts to the blue-haired girl. Her name is Nojiko, and she's with the boy, and Usopp, who's waking up. He's like, "Wait, where am I?" And we learned that she likes tangerines. And so that's fun. Nojiko and tangerines. And we learned that Nojiko is Nami's sister. Adopted sister. And Usopp's like, "What? You guys are sisters? Oh, no way. That's crazy." Let's see. Alright. And then it cuts to Arlong and Zoro being tied up, of course. He gets presented in front of Arlong like, "Oh, this is a guy," and he recognizes Nami. And Nami's like, "Haha, this is one of the fools I took money from. That's why he recognizes me. And Arlong's like, oh, yeah, of course. There she is. There's our Nami. Yeah, she's so greedy, she doesn't even care that her parents died. And at that moment, luckily for Nami's looking at Zoro, and she makes a face that she reacts to what he just said, and you could tell that something happened with her mom, or her parents' death, and then Nami saves Zoro by basically kicking him into the water, and or actually no. He goes to quote unquote commit suicide by putting himself in the water, and then Nami dives in after him and saves him. And everybody's like, hey, why do you do that for? She's like, well, I want to take my time with him. Come on, whatever. And at the time, one of the excuse me, Arlong gets reported to by the fisherman that was in the village, that some long-nosed guy was there and he's intruding and stuff like that. So he's like, oh, well, I have to go over there for some business anyways. So they all leave, and also it's for a tribute thing, I guess. But he leaves, and after Arlong and his group leaves, Nami unties Zoro, and she's like, get the hell out of here before Arlong goes back, because don't be a dummy, ha 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 ha. I mean, you know what I'm saying. Excuse me. And then Usopp attacks Arlong while he's in the village, and he's actually terrorizing this guy called Ned-san, or just Ned, I guess. And apparently Ned had possession of weapons, which was not allowed, and so he's being beaten up over and over again, and all the townspeople are like, no, you can't do that to him. And Ned's like, no, you need to play the long game of staying alive. Let's continue to do nothing. That sounds like a great plan. Isn't that right, folks? So that happens, and then Usopp attacks Arlong with his trusty slingshot to right in the face. I forget what it was. It wasn't Morningstar. It was maybe
I don't remember.
It was some special attack. I didn't write it down. But it doesn't affect Arlong at all. And he's like, oh wait, and everybody's like, oh, that's the long-nosed guy. We need to get him. And he starts like taking the house and start flipping it over. And one of the fishermen is like, don't do that, we need this village to give us money. But he's super like pissed off because he really hates humans. And he can't stand the fact that he got attacked by a human. But and then after that, Nami visits the village, and we learn what she's doing with all the money she's collecting. You learn that she's gonna needs to gather 100 million berry to buy the village of Kokoyoshi village.
Yep.
And that's where that episode ends. Wow, wasn't that fun?
Next
we learned a lot. We learned about, so far, we have learned about the 3 powers. Well, technically 1 power. Kind of 2. We learned about Arlong, and we learned about Nami having having a sister, and B, being friends with Arlong. Like, bruh, what is happening? We don't know. And why she was gathering all that money. Wow. And Usopp's still a coward. Episode 33.
Titled Usopp Dead? When is Luffy going to make landfall?
Usopp dead? Question mark? He's probably dead. So, Usopp immediately is running, and there's a gag of him trying to get away from these fishmen. He does some he runs into these woods, and he turns around and he's kind of hidden, and he says like, "Hey, who thinks Usopp is great? We should keep him alive." And he like runs around with some statue of a piece of wood. It's like, I think he should stay alive. And none of the fish buy it, and they're like, "Oh, well, you're stupid. We're gonna kill you." And they just find the piece of wood, and he ran off again. Then he runs into this tall grass, and he hides behind this tree and barely makes it. Then he falls down this cliff, and some other human is being interrogated by one of the Arlong leaders, and he's like, "Hey, where's this long-nosed guy?" And he's like, "I don't know. I won't take any lies." And he's like beating him up, and he sees Usopp like fall down that cliff, and Usopp doesn't recognize it, and he thinks that this guy is just like waving to him, but no, he's trying to tell him to get away. So Usopp gets captured because he's a smart guy.
Smart? Maybe.
What?
Yeah. I realized he had sarcasm, and you're saying he's smart.
Oh, yeah. He's very smart. Anyways, so at this time, Zoro had broken out of prison, and he beat up all of the guards that were there, and he had access to a sword, and he runs into a guy named Hachi. And he's like an octopus guy that can take you anywhere in this giant pot.
This guy.
It's cool. And he's like, yeah, who are you? He's like, me? He's like, hey, who am I, you ask? Oh, I'm Hachi. Hachi, nice to meet you. He kind of like talks to himself. He's not the smartest guy. And he's like, and Zoro's like, yeah, I'm kind of a guest of Arlong, so. He's like, oh, you are? Oh, is there some place you want to go? Because he wants to see Arlong, and he's waiting for Arlong. He's like, oh, well, let me take you to him. He's in the village. So he takes him to the village, and at that time, and like 5 minutes later, Arlong gets back with Usopp. Anyways, and then Nami's loyalty is questioned, and they're talking about, like, they're basically dead on about Nami, and they're like, that doesn't make any sense. Maybe she let him go because she's part of the crew and betrayal's in her nature, and this Usopp guy that we know or whatever that we just caught, and they're like getting everything right, and she's like, hey, who do you think I am? I got this tattoo. See this tattoo? That means I'm part of the crew. You know, I spent 8 years and not have this tattoo mean anything. Blah blah blah. Anyway, so then showing loyalty, Nami gracefully hits Usopp in the stomach, and all the pirates love this. They're like, yay, go Nami. And then Usopp kind of gets away, and he does a smoke star attack with his slingshot, and so there's smoke everywhere. You can't see. He uses this to try to get away, and so naturally, Nami stabs Usopp in the stomach, and she kicks him in the water, and she's like, "Yeah, that's you never." She's like, "Never question my words again." Everybody's cheering, "Yeah, you stabbed the guy. You got revenge. Hooray!" Yeah. And they're all like, "Oh, how could we question your loyalty, Nami? You're great." And at this point, we see Luffy's temporary boat being headed by Momu, the monster, and he basically is saying "mush mush" to this monster, and he's like, "Oh look, there's land right there," and he's like, "Go faster!" So Momu crashes into the wall, and the ship goes flying into the air. And Luffy's like, "Oh look, we're flying!" And Momu's like, "No, we're falling." They're flying really far, so when he lands, he lands like from an aerial position. Haha. And then Johnny actually witnesses Usopp being stabbed from the hidden place. So he comes running back to Zoro, and he runs into Luffy. Oh, by the way, Luffy lands right where Zoro is, conveniently. So he tells everyone, he's like, "Oh my god, Usopp's dead, Nami killed him." And, yeah. So, that's the end of that episode. So, I guess Usopp is dead.
If only he was.
Mm-hmm.
He's one of the most annoying characters, in my opinion. He gets much better later on, but takes a couple hundred episodes. Episode 34 is titled "Everyone's Gathered, Usopp Speaks the Truth About Nami."
Alright, cool. So, and then, right after we find out that Usopp is dead, Nami goes for a walk, and she immediately finds everyone. You know, hit the easy button on that. That was easy. And she does not deny that she stabbed Usopp. And she's like, "You guys were just a means for me to get my treasure, and don't come looking for me," kind of thing. Go away, and then who was it? I think it was either Zoro or Sanji says something, and they like call her out on it. I think it was the killing or whatever. It was something dramatic. I didn't write it down, but it was a really good scene. They're all there, and Nami, she says basically, "Well, I was trying to save you, but now I get it. If you want to stay here and die, you know, Arlong is looking for you, so die if you want to, whatever." She runs away, kind of thing. And then we were like, "Oh my god, I can't believe she stabbed him, oh my god." And then Luffy is just like, "I don't care. Nami's my navigator. I don't care what her past is. She's gonna be a navigator, blah blah blah." And then the Navy comes, Navy ship number 77, and everybody in the village is like, "Oh my god, the Navy's here! Yay! They're gonna do something about the pirates! Hooray!" And fire a cannon at Arlong's place, and it Arlong's up and he eats the cannonball, and even his fellow pirates are amazed at the fact that he was able to withstand a cannonball, which is pretty amazing. And they were originally going to give them some money, but with that cannonball attack, they're like, yeah, no negotiation, just kill him. So the 3 leaders that are there are like, yeah, don't worry, we'll take care of it. They're like, yeah, 3 leaders? Yeah, it probably take less than 3 minutes to take these guys out. And so these 3 leaders come aboard the ship, and this guy's like, hey, I'm Commodore something, it's 77. We're kind of an elite group, so if you don't want to get hurt or die, just surrender. And then one of the leaders is talking to them, and the other 2 take off the rudder. They're like, oh yeah, your rudder's gone. They're like, what, our rudder's gone? They're like, yeah, did you know that there's a phenomenon in the water where a coral reef can change the currents? And he's like, what? No, that's impossible. Oh yeah, it's gonna happen. And so I think it was, what's his name? Hachi, which is 8, by the way, in Japanese, because he's an octopus. But and he spins this box so fast it creates a whirlpool.
One second.
But the rudder, so the ship, gets destroyed because it runs into the whirlpool and they all die. Hooray!
Lucas, we are currently still on the first season. We're doing the first season as just all together, but we just started the Arlong arc. And after that, we're gonna go from there to just do an arc per season, or an arc per week. Just because the first part was so full of just so many mini arcs, it was just a little more annoying to do.
Yeah, we're being way too detailed, and it'll be easier to talk about it as one fell swoop kind of thing, with like points here and there. But is there like a random person there that was?
Yeah, he asked what arc are we on.
Yeah, we're
in the chat.
We're starting out, bud.
But
hold on, your bitches.
Starting.
And by the way, I'd unlike and unsubscribe.
Once we get to the Drum Island arc, which is the first one after season 1, we will do it per season, and we'll just do the highlights, like do all the battles and all the key points of the arc. It won't be like 5 episodes a week like we have been doing.
And also, random person, you get a gold star because you're the first person that's like talked to us.
I don't know how long ago he messaged, but I just I don't even know if he's still in here. Lucas, if you're still in here, please say something. Sorry that I just noticed.
I think you can leave in the comments maybe if they leave a comment. I don't know if the chat is different from the comments, but anyways, back to our
chat and comments are 2 different things.
Okay. Oh, right. So after the whirlpool thing, he cuts to Arlong having a discussion with his other leaders, saying like, yeah, Nami's wants to buy the village. They don't know why, and they even call her out on it. and she's like, "It's none of your business," kind of thing, and it's revealed that like he's like, "Hey, I'm a good guy." Oh, excuse me, I'm a good guy, and I've always adhered to my deals and stuff like that. Also, this reminds me of something that when they captured Oolong. No, not Oolong. Usopp. That's Dragon Ball. Then when they captured Usopp, they also found one of Nami's maps, and it was a map of the island that they're on currently. And they're like, "Oh, look, it's a treasure map." She's like, "Yeah, that's just my first map. That's none of your business." And that's when Usopp was stabbed and all that stuff. So there was a little distraction. Anyways, so Arlong is talking about how Nami is like a really good navigator, and they're currently in charge of like 20 different towns, and they're extracting a crap ton of money because they want to build the Arlong Empire, and they're discussing this, and they can't do it without a really good navigator, and that's what Nami is. But she's trying to buy that village or whatever to buy it. And so he's like, "Oh, I'm a good pirate. I honor my deals," and stuff like that. The BHs. What does BH stand for? I wrote BH's leave. Boathouses? Oh, right. The bounty hunters leave. So Johnny and Saku, they're scared of Arlong coming towards them because it was revealed when Arlong came back that Roronoa Zoro was the person that was captured and he escaped. And so now he's going to go after Zoro for, hurting his men and stuff like that. So they hear about this and they're like, "Yeah, we're going to just dip out. Yeah, we don't want to die. So, bye." Okay, bye. And then we see that Usopp is kind of walking along the beach, and it's revealed here that Usopp is A, alive, but B, Nami stabbed her own hand to make sure that Usopp was alive and stay alive. So, so Nami goes home and she finds her sister and she talks to her, and it's revealed that, "Hey, Usopp is your friend, I guess, and mentioned that he saw you like really happy when you were hanging out with him." And as Nami's falling asleep, she's like talking to herself, being like, "Yeah, friend is a word that's too painful for her." And it's like, oh, she has a problem with friends, got it. And Luffy, he says he doesn't care about Nami's past. That's her navigator, no matter what. And then, who comes to shore? None other than the corrupt colonel. He arrives at the village, and he's like, "Take me to," was it Nami? I think it was, "Take me to Nami," or "Take me to Nojaku, the sister."
Most
I
likely
can't remember who it is.
Nojaku.
But what's her name?
Nojiko.
Nojiko. I was way out. And there's a mention of their mom named Bellamar. Bellamere?
Bellamar.
That's where that
Yeah, Bellamere, yeah. And the
Sounds
final
pretty
episode of
cool.
the night is Untold Past Female Warrior Bellamere.
Cool. Alright. So, Female Warrior Bellamere. This is a flashback episode, so be prepared for that. So, off with that, not the flashback, but Luffy going for a walk, and the three Arlong leaders, I think they're looking for Zoro, and they run into Luffy, and he's just walking, and he just walks by them without any fear, and then they say, "Hey, who are you, and where are you going?" He's like, "Well, I'm Luffy. I'm just on a walk." "Yeah, but where are you going?" "What's it to you where I'm going? It's none of your business." And he's just like nonchalant, not scared of any of them. And they're like, "Man, that kid wasn't even scared of us. That's crazy." Which is crazy because they're fishmen. He didn't like react to the fishmen. Anyway, so the Nami has a flashback. It's about when they're younger, and it's the last day. It's like a better time back in the past, and let's see, we learn about Nami's making a map, and she goes to steal a book, and she gets caught by the same Ned who was getting beaten up earlier, and he's super pissed off at her and at the mom, Bellamere. Like, "Hey, your kind of attitude is why she's like this. She keeps stealing stuff, blah 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 blah." And she's like, "Oh, I don't have anything to pay you back with, but maybe I can pay you back with my body." And he's just like, "Why are you saying that? Don't say stuff like that." And they're all laughing. They're having a good time. And immediately when he leaves, she gets all like mad at Nami, like, "Hey, no stealing. I told you a million times, don't steal." And she's like, "Yeah, but we're too poor. And I wanted that book. And I stole it because I knew you wouldn't buy it for me." She's like, "No, I have some money put away. We could have totally done that." But so then we learned that Nami, from a very young age, she's learned how to draw maps, and another thing, it's all like sea related stuff. And her next thing she wants to do is learn how to navigate, and she has a talent for it, and that's her dream to navigate, and she wants to create a map of the world, basically, because in this universe there is no such thing. There's, for whatever reason, nobody's done that. Why? I don't know. And there's like an argument later on about money, and she's like arguing with her sister, and she's like, you're not even my real sister. You're my real blood." And Bellamere slaps Nami, and she's like, "Don't you dare say that. Don't you ever say that. That is your sister. That will only be your sister, blah, blah, blah." And she's just like, and then she's like, "I'm running away." And then we get a backstory within a backstory, and now it's Bellamere's backstory of how she was always a rambunctious girl herself, just like Nami, and she went to join the Marines, or the Navy and Marines. And she wanted to beat up pirates, I guess. And there was one day, and I think this was Ned talking to Nami about her mom, because she didn't know a lot about her. And Nami, of course, runs to just the village. That's a, I don't know how old she is, like 8, I guess. That's her way of getting to the village and stuff. You know, the blue-haired girl is 2 years older than Nami, but you don't know their ages. I suppose it's written down somewhere. I would assume 8, so that would make her 16 right now, which kind of fits. But anyways, backstory is that Bellamere joined the Navy, and she had a really bad day. You know, her whole unit was like wiped out, and she was struggling to hang on herself. And she saw this blue-haired girl carrying a baby, and it looked like the blue-haired girl was about 4, and Nami was about 2. Nami was, still couldn't walk or anything. And she's like, "Hey, where do you come from? Is this your sister?" And she's like, "No, just another random kid." Caught in a pirate attack, of course. And she immediately had a meaning in life, and she was like, "I need to protect you. Let's get out of here." And so she took them back to Kokoyoshi Village, and in a storm, and they had fevers when she landed back on shore. And she's like, "You need to cure them, blah blah blah." And so X amount of time went by, and she adopted them, and they've been poor ever since. But Nami learns that her mom, Nami and what's her name? Nojiko gave her purpose in life. And so she was like, "Oh, okay." And at that moment, Nojiko opened the door to the house that they were in, and, "Oh, hey, I knew you got me. Come on, let's go back." And that mom was making some tangerine sauce and waffles or whatever it was. And at that point, there's a pirate attack. And we get a Usopp impersonator, and he's impersonating Usopp very goodly. And he's like, pirates are here, pirates are here. And so it's the Arlong pirates, and they're like, "Oh my god, they're back from the ground." Well, that doesn't make any sense. I guess the split within the fishermen was true. Oh no. And they land, and they started, they don't attack people, which is the crazy thing. They're like, every adult 100,000 berries, every kid 50,000 berries. Everybody pays, and if you don't pay, you die. And Ned hides the 2 girls in some bushes, and the town starts to pay, and they're like, "Well, Bellamere's house is on the outskirts of the village. Hopefully they don't see him." Fortunately, Bellamere decided to cook at that time. And the pirates saw the smoke, and they started heading for the village, and for Bellamere's house. And Nami and Nojiko run after the pirates to try to get home first. And it's the race to Bellamere, basically. That's where it ends. So next time, episodes 36 to 40.
And we will be possibly joined by Molecat.
Molecat. This guy, I know, he is a freak when it comes to One Piece.
But that was our review. Next time we'll be doing 36 through 40 on Thursday. Possibly then 41 through 45 on Friday. And possibly 46 through 50 on Sunday. Or, no, not Tuesday. Or Sunday. And then, yeah, we'll figure it out. But we're going to try to get through this first season as fast as we can. So then we can get to just the one arc a week.
And hopefully they won't be as long. Because I think if we go like no notes and just kind of watch the whole arc, I mean we can do experiments with the second arc or whatever, by like how much we remember and stuff like that. It won't be. I don't think it'll be as detail oriented as it has been, because when you make it too detailed, it's basically not really reviewing it. It's more like a synopsis of it.
What I plan to do, I plan to still do a little notes, just making notes of all the characters that are introduced, all the noteworthy battles, and that's about it.
Yeah, because the plots are so intertwined. They're intertwined beautifully. It's hard not to make notes of those and go, "Oh, this was significant." It's like the show is like so detailed, like leaving even one little part out. Like it's hard to explain. Each part is significant, and so each part intertwining with each part is also significant as well. It's good. It's too good a show. It should be Criminal.
Yeah, I think because we'll give the first arc a try, but I think as long as we get like the main, because I'll just do like all the characters introduced, and then all the battles. I won't like fully make note describing the battles. I'll just say who's in the battle, and that's it. Then we can always look up the battle if we can't remember. Well,
yeah.
Just so we can hit those for sure, like the battles and stuff. I'll just make note.
I'm sure people would like that better. But anyways, in episode 32-35, yeah.
You mean 31 through 35?
All these different people, and it's like this is world building. It's like, holy shit! Like this is how you do it. Landing and different philosophies and different reasons for doing stuff. What's their motivation? Like each character is in depth. Even though like the characters that you only see for like one episode are very in depth, and they have a reason for being there. Like Ned, he's been in like what 2 episodes so far, but he has more of a backstory than a lot of shows would have for the main characters. It's just like how do you do this? Why do you do this? Why was I programmed to feel pain? But yeah, that's important.
That was our review. Like, subscribe, comment. Please comment suggestions for us to do once we hit that 20,000 goal, which will probably be tomorrow. I think we might stick with One Piece and maybe do a movie eventually. Not right away. We might just do one of the more relevant ones once we get to it. Not the ones that have nothing to do with the main story.
Hey, I'm cleaning up water.
And join us tomorrow for Pokemon D&D. Join us Thursday for our Part 8 review. And join us Friday for Part 9. Saturday for movie review that I've yet to decide what movie. And Sunday for probably Part 10.
Were we gonna do one? It was your pick, right?
Yep. I'm torn between two.
Guardians, you said?
No, what was it? Is a Zatoichi the Blind Swordsman, or I can't remember what the other one was. If anybody remembers what I said last week, please comment.
I thought it was like Guardian something. Or maybe that was the one we already did.
I honestly can't remember. I'm pretty sure it was a movie I've only seen once.
Oh, it was Prisoners I was thinking of.
But I'm going to end this